The golf industry has made significant strides in many areas over the last 5 years. One area that often gets overlooked is footwear. The most recent advancement in footwear has been cleatless golf shoes. But are these shoes better for your golf game? We begin our investigation at the Titleist Performance Institute in Carlsbad, California.
What we're going to do is look at the difference between your foot action with spikeless shoes on, and then we'll say official golf shoes with a stable platform and spikes on. So on the left we have your spikeless shoes, and what we're looking at is your foot action.
Stability and balance are two of the most important elements of the golf swing. Soft Spikes, one of the top manufacturers of golf spikes, says that by wearing cleatless shoes, you lose both and ultimately lose distance.
The more moving parts you have in your golf swing, the more complicated it begins. This game is already very complicated as it is, so we try to minimize moving parts or excessive motions. And if the foot is excessively moving, it is a very, very bad start to the golf swing. The foot needs to be overall a stable platform for the golfer to be able to produce power, accuracy, and prevent injury.
If you're in a shoe that isn't stable, you don't have that balance, you don't have that stability. So now instead of you loading all the club head speed down and through the ball, you're using your balance and using your energy. Okay, all of your energy in your body is being used to stay balanced, which is taking away 10 to 15 miles of club head speed down through the ball.
So what we're looking for is optimal ground force production. And that starts with eliminating excessive motions in the golf swing, because all those take away from rotational movements. It's not the only thing that takes away from power, but I tell you what, it's the first thing that interacts with power.
Soft Spikes and other major footwear manufacturers such as Callaway and FootJoy have spent a lot of time in R&D developing spikes with the most possible traction to improve your golf game. We asked Lance Gill at TPI about the difference in traction between golf spikes and cleatless golf shoes and how it affects your swing.
What I can tell you is this is an unstable platform with no traction or limited traction on the bottom, and what that will do on surfaces that are wet or surfaces that are downhill, your foot's going to spin out a lot more than that in those untraditional flat surfaces.
Clearly the traction in this shoe is superior to anything that does not have cleats. As far as the traction is concerned, there's no comparison overall in the traction from something with 11 soft spikes like this into something that is cleatless.
The spikeless shoes are kind of in that genre of not having enough traction, whereas this right here offers as much traction as you can possibly want, so you can generate more power and speed and forces off the ground.
Being able to have a balance in wet conditions, in slippery conditions, in cold conditions, warm conditions, in thick rough, up and downhill, out of bunkers, side hill lies, that you need to be balanced in all of those and be able to have the correct traction to not only maintain your footing, but to transfer your energy down and through the ball properly.
On a golf course, you're going to be able to come across all different types of conditions, and you're going to move around on them differently. So you need to make sure that you have something that when you're turning, it's turning and grabbing, which is what a spike is meant to do.
These golf shoes here I've had for about 6 months, and I change my spikes in them every month. And so it always feels like I have new golf shoes on. With cleatless shoes, once the rubber wears down the bottom, that's it. They're out the door.
To each his own. Everyone has their own style, and I'm sure there are people out there that have found shoes that they do like, but the problem is they're not going to have the lifespan that a shoe with cleats does.
Until I see a trend of people using a spikeless shoe that can produce that same model, same energy, power, and not have excessive moving parts, I go with what works.